Well, thank you for the introduction, Doug. As you said, my name's Nathan Galbreath, and I'm on the board of Upstate Greenways and Trails Alliance. We call ourselves UGATA for short because it's kind of a mouthful to say the whole title. And so, as the name suggests, what we're really interested in is expanding trails and greenways in the upstate. We've already mentioned the Swamp Rabbit Trail a few times today. And one question I get a lot in my day job, I'm a real estate closing attorney in my day job, and I get asked all the time, hey, why aren't we building more of these things? And I'm not being asked by the kind of folks that you see in this room who are very interested in conservation. I'm being asked by land developers, apartment builders, neighborhood community developer type folks, because even they see the huge benefit in trails and greenways for a number of reasons. Before I talk too much about us, I did want to say that this Greenville County Historic and Natural Resources Trust, this is a bold idea and a very amazing idea, and I just wanted to thank each of you all for your participation in this process. I say it's bold because those pressures that I just mentioned from development, and these are all positive things. We have a big population that's moving to our area. Why are they coming here? It's because it's a great place to live. They all need houses to live in, they need roads to drive on, they need stores to purchase their groceries in, and there's a lot of pressure on our natural environment from all of those things. And so it's really important to have balance, and it does take a bold group of people to step up and say, boy, we really need to protect our special places too, make sure we have more trails, greenways, natural places. And so really commend our county council and all of you here for being part of this. So UGATA was also born of a pretty bold vision, I think. What our vision is, we would like to see the upstate of South Carolina grow to have the most expansive network of trails and greenways in the United States. That's a pretty big, bold goal. If you've ever traveled to different parts of the world or even some other cities in the United States, and it's a kind of city or town, and it might be in another country, another part of the U.S., and you have a hotel downtown, you step outside and you just see the town flooded with walkers and people riding bikes, and you realize, gosh, I can get anywhere I need to go. And downtown Greenville really kind of feels that way. You get this great sense of community. There's community pride. It becomes a big draw for tourism, and it bolsters the economy. So that's why we'd like to see Greenville, kind of true to its name, be known for its greenways and trails. So just who we are really quickly, we're also a nonprofit, and we're made up of an alliance of members, and that includes neighborhood groups, businesses, community organizations, all of whom are interested in trails. Our mission, as I mentioned, is to rapidly expand Greenways and Trails Network, but in a very quality way. These are a few of our alliance members, and I wanted to point out again that these are not just folks you would typically think of as being in conservation. You see all kinds of companies represented here. Some are related to biking or walking or that kind of thing, but you see neighborhoods like Southern Side Neighborhood. You see major property developers like KDS Commercial Properties, real estate groups. So a lot of different folks are interested in this issue. So how does UGATA work? Really three things: partner, advocate, and build. We try to partner with our alliance members, but also with our public institutions to identify, plan, and implement projects. And we advocate through our powerful collective voice of these various alliance members, and after speaking with our partners in the public institutions, what folks really want. Because one of the things when UGATA was formed, we went to the city of Greenville, county of Greenville, other municipalities, and we said, there's a lot of noise around trails and greenways, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot getting done here. How can we help? And they said, well, one of the problems that we have is we have these lone voices in the desert that show up at one meeting and they demand this or they demand that. We start working on it, and then 10 other people show up and say, well, wait a minute, we don't want that, we want this other thing. And so one of the things that we try to do is get a collective voice and say, what do we all agree that we want to do? And then be able to approach the private community and our public partners to say, okay, this is a project everyone's behind. Let's fund it. Let's build it. And one of the last things we do is we actually build trails and greenways. One of the other things we heard from our public partners is, hey, we have very limited budgets, and we have people that come to our meetings and they basically complain, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And we don't have the resources to do it. So one of the things UGATA does is we pool those resources and we go out and we actually get it done. And that's where this trust is very important, because very often one of those components to getting an important project done that everybody is interested in is a land component. And so very often there's a conservation piece where we need to purchase, conserve land so we can build a trail or greenway. Others alluded to this. This wheel of benefits I think is so important. Trails weave through all the different things we've talked about today, whether it's the beautiful land that Naturland is preserving, whether it's Upstate Forever and their mission, whether what Raleigh's doing with the Conservation Bank, whether it's these historic places. As you mentioned, if you're preserving a beautiful grist mill over on the edge of a river, one of the neatest ways to go see that is to meander down a path to get there and not park your car within 5 feet of it. That's part of the experience that really makes it special. So everything from giving a sense of community pride, which everybody I think now kind of relates to the Swamp Rabbit Trail as something we're really proud of for Greenville. There's a real sense of community around that. Responsible land use and equity. Economy is a huge thing. Trails and greenways actually, believe it or not, by conserving land, you really raise property values. Anybody know what the most expensive property is in the United States?
Park Avenue.
Park Avenue. Why is that?
It's over the park.
That's right. It's next. That's right. It's next to Central Park, and so being next to a conserved space actually raises tax revenues. Actually brings tourists in. It's one of the best things you can do for the economy. If you all know little old Brevard, North Carolina, they recently installed some trails and greenways in their area, and their studies show that it's bringing in $48 to $50 million a year into their tiny little local community. So it really has a big economic impact. Transit, very important. There's a lot of talk right now, and rightfully so, about affordable housing. When you have more trails and greenways, it really links housing that is affordable to jobs. You think about some areas that are in the outlying parts of Greenville County, and we're trying to be able to bring people in to work in jobs that are downtown. Trails and greenways connect the folks that can't even afford a vehicle. And as we know, sometimes there's a challenge with public transportation. So it's low cost, it's clean, it connects our different areas. And also very importantly for our health. There's a health epidemic in South Carolina. And one of the things that's neat for this trust is, when you help our organization conserve a piece of property to put a trail or a greenway on it, you're also helping improve the physical and mental health of our residents. So quickly, some environmental benefits of trails. It really does promote wildlife biodiversity, mitigates climate change, sequesters carbon, and filters the air. It's a big help with water services, for everything from storm runoff and flood control to accumulating the water supply. And it provides recreation and amenities in the outdoors. More conservation equals a better quality of life. By conserving land, we have more scenic places in which to recreate, and it really does help citizens access and enjoy conservation when you install these trails. So UGATA and the Historic and Natural Resources Trust, we really feel like we'll be great partners to build a better future. Trails and greenways are a huge contributor to quality of life in Greenville. If you spend any time on any of our trails, whether soft surface or paved greenways, you probably had a smile on your face while you were doing it, and I bet you felt a lot better when you got home. And how will we work together? As I mentioned earlier, consensus building. When we come to you with a project, you've seen all the Alliance members that we represent. You know the projects that we bring before you will be something that the entire community is behind. Neighborhood associations, businesses, conservation groups. We can help raise the matching funds. As Raleigh alluded to earlier, one of the things you all will be doing is having a multiplication factor with the money that you have. And we have a powerful arm for raising matching funds to get some of these projects completed. We're looking for win-win projects where we conserve sensitive land and also facilitate more trails and greenways for good public access. We hope to be a regular applicant in front of you all and to help coordinate with the ongoing management of some of these properties. That's always a big deal. You conserve it, but who's taking care of it and managing it after that's happened? That's something we have expertise in. We can also hold these easements. Sometimes These funds can be used not to purchase fee simple property, but to be purchased just the right to put a trail or greenway on it. That's an easement, and we can hold those easements. Thank you. We look forward to working with you all. Yes, barely got in there.